Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at creating this example here using Solidworks. Now before we get started, we're going to see that we have to make some references in here. Mainly that we're going to have to create some kind of plane in order to be able to get to this shape here. There is no other way that I can think of that I would have to create that without having some kind of reference. And what I mean by reference in the term of SolidWorks, it means something like an axis, a point, or a plane. And in this case, we're going to be using a plane. So I'll show you how to create a plane in SolidWorks. So let's go ahead and jump over to that and get started. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to make sure that we do a little bit of calculating, and you can see that the distance between here to here is 106, right? Now, when I create this shape, I have to account for that extra radius part that's back here. So I'm going to have to add 25 to the 106. So that gives me a number of 131. Some other things that you can see is that there's a distance that goes between here. And you can see that that number is sitting here at 26. So we do have that distance that's going across from here. So when we create those slots, and lucky for us, the slots is part of the whole command here in SolidWorks. So you'll have that option as well. But everything else I think is pretty much straightforward for what we need. And there's 32 here in the front. You can see that this goes all the way down. So here it's the straight and correct number. On this one, we do have to add the 25. Okay, so we're going to start off by clicking the new button here. We'll go ahead and click part, and then we'll hit the OK button. And we're going to assume that the units are going to be millimeters. All right. In this case, or this time, we're going to start off by using just the extrude command, and it should automatically put us in a side profile. So I'll go ahead and select the front plane, and it put us in the sketch mode. Then let's go ahead and draw an L shape. Okay, so we're going to start off with the line here. And now I can also do this as a thin feature, because remember that we do have that option here. And what I mean by a thin feature is that this is actually all I need to create the part. So if I go ahead and just kind of put some basic dimensions on here, I think I should be good enough to create this. And let's see, this dimension here is going to be 131. And then this dimension here should be sitting at 32. And then we're going to go ahead and line these up. So I'm just going to find this point here. Let's exit out of the dimension. And then find that point. And then we're going to make them vertical to each other. And I'll go ahead and find the midpoint on this line. Let's zoom in a little bit so it pops up. So I'll go here, hold down the shift button. And it should be there. And then we're just going to make these horizontal. Okay. So everything here is done. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. It should take us back to the extrude command. All right, so while I'm waiting on that to load up, now I have to tell this that this is going to be a thin feature, right? So it automatically picked that up, and it's saying, hey, what do you want to do? So the first thing I'm going to do is tell it, hey, I want to go some mid-plane. I'm going to give it the distance that I want it to go across, and in our case, it's going to be 76. And then I'm going to tell it what this thickness is going to be, right? So I'm going to tell it that it's going to be 20, because remember that it's going to be 20 in both directions. And now, do I have this going the right direction? Meaning that, and I'm just going to kind of normalize this, do I want that to go up that way, or I want it to go in? And that's what this is going to do, right? So we can either go in or up this way. And we want it to go this direction. And that should be everything that we need. I'll go ahead and hit the accept bar, the OK. And you can see just right out of just two lines, we're able to create that shape. All right. Next thing, let's go ahead and tackle some of this reference geometry. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to reference geometry, and I'm going to choose plane. Now I'm going to create a plane at an angle, so I need to give it two references. The first reference will be that plane there. The second reference is going to be this axis here. And once I select that, I'm just going to come here and click on the angle, and then I'll type in 45 degrees here. That should be everything that we need. Let's go ahead and hit the OK button here and accept it. Okay. Next, we want to do an extrusion, right? So I'm going to go to the extrude command. I'm going to go ahead and select this plane. It should rotate around. Let's zoom in. And then we're going to kind of create a, let's see, a center rectangle. So let's go ahead and click it here. And then while I'm doing this, let's just go ahead and get a little crazy with it and make a center point arc here. So I'm going to start off here in the midpoint, then I'll go to that end point, and then I'll finish off at that end point. Okay, let's escape out of here, and let's go ahead and make this reference. So I'll select it and make it a reference. Let's go ahead and put a couple of tangencies on here. And sometimes it'll shade back here in a second, and I'll verify and kind of see if I can make it shade itself, sorta. Let's go ahead and put these two tangents on here just to make sure that everything is tangent. Alright. Let's see if I should be able to move things around a little bit. And let's add a few dimensions on this while we're waiting. Let's go ahead and put a dimension going across from here. And this dimension will be 44. And you can see that it did pick it up finally here. And then we're going to give it a height here. And that distance should be sitting at 30. Okay. So I think that it has almost everything that it needs. Let's go ahead and make sure that this line here is on top of that line. And then we need one more thing here, which is going to say, hey, keep this center in line with this one. Now remember, I'm just holding down the shift button, and it's a good practice to, after you do one of these relations, just go ahead and hit the escape button to clear it. Alright, so I think it has everything that it needs. Let's go ahead and finish this. So we're going to exit out of the sketch. And then it should kick over until, and that's exactly what it did. So it kicked over until the extrude, right? So right now it's on up to body. If I was just to use this on blind, you can see that it'll go in any direction I want it to go. So if I wanted to make it go this direction or something of that nature, but I want it to come down and stop at this face. So therefore I'm going to select here up to body. I'm going to select this body, and you can see that it did turn around and it's going to that body. Once it does that, go ahead and hit the check mark here. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and put some fillets on here. So let's go ahead and use the fillet command. I'll turn this plane off here in a second. So I'm going to go to fillet, type in a distance of 25, and I'll just go ahead and work these two back corners here. Go ahead and OK that. Let's go around underneath the bottom here, go back to the fillet command. And then we'll go ahead and knock out our ones that are sitting at 14, which happens to be this one and that one. Okay, let's go ahead and accept that. Let's go ahead and hide our plane here. So I'm just going to select it, and then I'll select the hide button there. Okay, so we have some holes and some other things that we can go ahead and create. Let's go ahead and put the rectangle on the front here. So I'm just going to use the extrude command, and I'll select this face. I'll go ahead and use a center rectangle. Just going to kind of click somewhere along here in the middle and then go to here. Alright, we're going to make these two collinear. And it looks like it did grab that face, and I was trying to get the edge up here. There we go. So I'll grab that edge and then that edge. Go ahead and make those collinear. Go to this one and then this one. Once again, hit it with another collinear. Select that point there and then that one. Make it vertical. And then all we need is one dimension. So let's go ahead and put a smart dimension on here. And we'll go between this line and that one here. And that distance is set to be 20. All right, let's go ahead and exit out of the sketch. And it should be tracking that, and it should be able to pick up that one profile there. Okay, so right now it's still assuming that I want to go up to a body. Let's go blind. And then we're going to give it a distance of 6. Go ahead and hit OK. All right, so now we have that part done. Let's go ahead and start working on the slot that's on the back here, right? Now, one neat thing that we can do here is that we do have some built-in slots inside of some of these sketch commands, which is one of the things I do like. So I'm going to go to the extrude base. I'm going to select this back face here. And then I'll choose the slot, which is located here. So I have a straight slot. And I'm just going to select here. I'll send it up vertically. Now you remember that we do have a distance on that line there. And I can type it in here, which happens to be 26. And then I have the diameter here that's going across here. And it is set to, let's call it 24. Okay, now let's do a few more things here. We need to go ahead and select this arc. Hold down the shift button and select this arc. And then we're just going to say, hey, go ahead and make them concentric to each other. Okay. I'm trying to see what other thing that it is missing here. Okay, and it's missing the other one. It looks like it didn't lock that 26 dimension, but that's okay. We can go ahead and select here. Hold down the shift button. Select here. And just make those two concentric to each other as well. And I'm trying to figure out why it is not turning black for me. I think that's probably, oh, I know why. It's just kind of staring at me right in the face here. I forgot to go ahead and put a dimension on the diameter here, which is 12. Okay. Now everything turned black. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. And it should be picking that up. And once again, this is going up a height of 6 as well. So that's exactly what I want to do. Let's go ahead and hit the check mark here. And then let's go ahead and do a fillet again. Let's give our radius 6. Go ahead and select that line there, and it should be able to track all of that going around it. Let's go ahead and accept that as well. Okay. On the back here, let's go ahead and put a slot here. So I could do like I did before, create a slot and extrude it through. But inside of the hole command, so let's go to the hole wizard, we do have a slot built into it, right? So I'm going to use the slot, which is located here. I'm going to go ahead and specify the position first. So I'll go to position. I'm going to select this face. And then I'm going to click here. And then hit the escape button. Okay. Now I should be able to select that point here, hold down the shift button, and go ahead and select that arc there. Tell it make them concentric to each other. Let's go ahead and hit the escape button one time. I'm going to select this line here. Tell it that I want it vertical. And it looks like it went the wrong direction for me, but that's okay. All right, I'll hit the escape button here. I'm just going to select that constraint there, and I'll delete it. And that should give me the freedom to move this thing around again. Okay, so I'll select here. Let's go ahead and hold down that button, hold down the shift button, and then select and make it coincidence to this one. So we have about everything we need. Let's go ahead and put a dimension on here. Oh, I keep forgetting I'm inside of the actual hole command, and I have to come over here to type. And then that's what gives me my diameter. And you can see that the diameter going across here is 12. Okay. And we want to make sure that we do send it through all. Then I'll go ahead and hit the check mark here. And it should cut that slot going through here, which it did. Okay. Let's go ahead and put a hole going through the front here. So back to the hole wizard. All right, and the way this works is that I'm just going to use a regular drill hole. Let's go ahead and give it its position first. So I'm going to select that face. And then I'll go and just touch the edge of here, and the center should appear. And when it does, go ahead and click on this center. Now this is one of those scary things. Just go ahead and hit the escape button, because if you keep clicking, it will keep producing holes for you. I'm going to come back over here to type. I'm going to give it its diameter, which is sitting at 22. And this one is not going through all. I'm just going to change the depth of this, right? So I'm just going to change it to a blind distance. And then I'm just going to give it a distance of 32. All right. Now, depending on what kind of drill point and things of that nature you have at the end, you do have some other options here at the bottom. But for what we need, the 32, and leave it set to here, that is going to be totally fine for us. Let's go ahead and accept that. Okay. Let's go ahead and look down here at the bottom, and we have 2 more holes that we have to create. So let's go to the wizard here again. And then I like to specify my positions first. So I'll go to position. I'll select this face here. And then I'm just going to hover. And when the center comes up, I'll go and click on that center. Once again, I'm just going to come over here and hover. Find the center. I'll click on that center. Jump over to type. It's going to be a regular hole. The diameter is going to be set to 12. And this one is going through all. Okay. Hit the OK button on this one. And I think this is actually everything that we need to complete this one. Let's go ahead and put it in the isometric for us. And there you have it. Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed this example of how to create this in SolidWorks. Some of the things I do like is that you do have the ability to create a slot inside of the whole wizard. And that's unlike some other programs where you have to actually sketch that out. So super beneficial, and you've seen that it was super quick. But thank you for tuning in and watching this video. And please hit the like, subscribe if you do enjoy this content, or leave me a comment down below. And as always, keep drafting, and I'll see you in the next video.